Slacktail Squad, assemble.
Sweet. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Tremendous Mandel coming to you all the way from the Beaveman's cave.
This is Beav Deck External. This is Beaver Den Altera. Altera. So we're actually all together.
Wow, yeah.
And it's a beautiful evening here in Beavtropolis.
I see you have an owl. Does that actually keep the birds away?
I know that we have two actual owls that hang out around here that we get to hear all the time, so maybe that's just why. Maybe that attracts other owls. I don't really care if it keeps the birds away because you're supposed to move it all the time.
We don't move it. It just
and we don't
stays
move
there.
it. It just stays there. In order to keep the birds away, you're supposed to. It's really to keep squirrels away. That's what it's for.
Does it work?
No. There's fucking squirrels everywhere. I fucking hate. By the way, squirrels, if you're listening, if you're listeners of the Great Slaptail Squad and the Slaptail Nation, you're not allowed to be in the Slaptail Nation because I fucking hate you.
All squirrels?
Black squirrels, red squirrels, fat squirrels, skinny squirrels, squirrels that climb on rocks.
Squirrels that have mange.
I know where this is going, yeah.
Squirrels that have mange. Do you hate them too? I've seen a lot of squirrels that had mange.
She didn't get where I was going.
I get where you were going.
Where was I going?
You were making it a racial thing.
No, not at all.
I don't know.
No,
it's
big kids, little kids climbing rocks.
Oh.
Fat kids, skinny kids, even kids with chicken pox. Love hot dogs.
I don't know
Armor hot dogs.
No, I'm too young for that. Tremonde, we're too young for that.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
It's clearly a commercial that was around back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get it. Was black and white TV. We're too young.
Black and white TV, yeah.
No, it actually came out with color TV.
Yeah. Wasn't I know it?
It was one of those catchy little tunes.
Black and white hot dog would be nasty. Did they make those kind of commercials?
We didn't even say anything about. Oh my god, really? Anyway,
yeah, it's.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but
it's like my baloney has a first name.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we know
It's
that.
the same time frame.
No,
why don't?
Yeah, maybe we didn't eat Armor hot dogs.
No. Armor hot dogs.
Yeah.
No.
The dogs kids love to
eat.
That was bite.
Yeah, I thought it was bite too, but
I don't know.
Yuck.
Okay, so do you remember any of the commercials when you were a kid?
No. Not unless they got brought up.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this or not. I just thought I'd mention this before we get going with it. The Ron's is looking kind of buff. Ron, have you lost a lot of weight working?
I have.
He's even sporting like it almost. First I thought it was a V-neck, but it's just his collar's all fucked up. I think.
No, I have, and people have noticed that I've lost.
They're like, you don't look like a chubby lesbian anymore.
What do you got to be?
I got to be mean to lesbians.
Yeah,
I mean.
Well, I can take this opportunity to bust on lesbians.
You were the one who said that Ron's looked like a fat lesbian from behind.
What? Well, I don't think I said that. I think I might have said something like it looked like he had a pack of Armor hot dogs on the back of his neck.
No.
Well, I admire the Beaveman for checking out my ass, but,
That is not what I was doing.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one that I'm not being told that I look like a chubby lesbian from behind, which I'll take it as a compliment. But yeah, I've lost.
Why would you take that as a compliment? Just gotta know.
Because you're
they
checking
have a very
me
distinct.
out.
No, they have a no. A fat lesbian from behind. They have a very distinct look. They're usually wearing jean shorts. They have a man's ass.
Like
well, yeah. Let's just offend that demographic of our listeners. Hey, if you're a fat lesbian checking out the Rons, move on.
Why would a fat lesbian check you out?
She wouldn't check you out. She would move on because
maybe he thought for a minute.
Maybe there's a thought there. Yeah, maybe there's a thought there for a minute, and you're crushing my hopes about that. Maybe I might convert them back.
No.
Wait a minute. You would convert them. You would have to assume that that's a route that they took initially in order to convert them back.
Well, didn't that happen on an episode of Seinfeld where Kramer was dating George Costanza, if I remember the plot right? His ex-girlfriend turned out to be a lesbian, and then she started dating Kramer, who converted her back or switched her back, and it's like it was a really cool plot line.
I do not remember,
I
but it's
didn't watch
arrogance to
Seinfeld.
think that you could do that.
More narcissistic, but not arrogant. Anyway, but thank you for checking me
But
out.
you digress.
But I digress.
But you
Yes, I have
digress.
lost weight, and it's quite surreal.
Still, is it because of your lack of sleep, or
I would say so. Lack of sleep, because I am. Well, let's face it. When you get to work, it's a constant moving around.
Is it? It's constantly moving around because people are thrusting their packages in your face?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
setting up the shoot, getting the shoot ready?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's and then you're handling packages, big, small, throwing them down a hole. Hopefully, they fit. I love that laugh, Tremonti. That's a really
I'm all in for dick jokes.
Who said it was a dick joke? Is that where you want to go with this? The lesbian now dick jokes? Okay, fine. We can do that. We can go to playground humor. Right?
We're all about playground humor.
Yes, we are. By the way,
There's nothing about this show that is smart or witty or cutting edge. But
I would disagree with that.
why would you disagree with it? You think that you're smart, witty, and cutting edge?
No, I didn't say that. I know that you can be smart and witty, right? And
That's the Beaveman fan club.
that's and
2 out of
Tremonti.
3 fans on this deck is not bad.
Hold on, Swan. Whoever you're texting, tell him we said hi. Okay.
Okay, I'm texting my kid
Okay.
who's downstairs
Here's the-
and texting me.
That's parenting for you in this modern age. It's like, what are you doing? I'm hungry. Go to the fridge. Can't you bring it to my room?
No.
And so what does the daughter say?
She wants my credit card number to order something from online.
Oh,
Yeah.
and what is it she wants to order?
You want me to give my
Well, I
credit
just
card
saw
number?
Shadow.
You want me to give my credit card number, Ron? Nice
No.
try though. Nice try. I know you're paying a Nigerian prince right now.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Yeah,
You-
why are you?
Yeah,
And
why
that's
are
the
you?
point. And why are you doing that?
No, I'm not.
Because you answer text message so fucked up that I'm sure
Okay,
someone's
so
scamming your shit and
We
you're like,
assume
Alright.
that
yeah.
we assume that
So
you are
let-
not very smart.
let's
and
address
you get,
that.
you
Let-
get
let-
taken very easily.
Let's address that. I'm sorry if when I get out of work, I'm just tired.
It's not even. No,
You
it's
don't
not
even
even.
care
No,
about
it's,
that
it's
part
not even
now?
before that. It was like that before you ever worked.
Yeah. And you deny like that you read the conversation before, that you acknowledged the
I acknowledge
conversation.
reading it. I may have not understood it. I acknowledge reading it.
So you're
And-
saying you're ignorant. You don't understand
And then on
plain
top
English.
of that,
Yeah.
on top of that, I actually had 2 conversations going on at once. I mean, I had
Yeah,
two-
but then
no,
you
I
can
had 2
scroll to
feeds.
the one before and keep it in check that you're
I had 2 feeds. There was the one that Beaveman was sending me, and then there's the group one.
and you can't
The
cross
one that I
reference
sent you,
each other.
I haven't sent you anything on it for quite some time.
Fair enough, it's an excuse. Whether you buy it or not, that's up to you. But hey. Or someone will respond in our little group, and it'll go separate, and I'm like, okay, I should just delete everything and reread it when I've had like more than maybe 2 hours of sleep.
I want the entire listening audience to just feel so bad for Rons. Rons, don't you think that by now, after 30 years of not working, that you're rested enough and you've got a good 60 years of not sleeping in you to work?
You would think that, but as a stay-at-home dad and a community advocate, right? You're always busy. You're always doing something. Someone is
And don't forget black belt.
and a black belt. Yeah, thank you, Tremonti.
Gotta throw that
First
in there.
responder.
Yeah.
Yeah, first responder. Yeah. No, you're always doing something. People think because you don't have a job that you do nothing all day,
That's
but you actually do a lot more because you're flexible.
Wait, so you actually do a lot more than the rest of us who do those same activities and work.
and work, yeah.
So you do a lot more than us.
So you don't have a pickup truck, so people aren't asking you to help them move. So
No, they are
what?
helping me. They're asking me to move, helping them.
Yeah,
move.
they are asking
They
him
are
to
asking
move.
you
They're
to
asking
move,
him
yeah.
to move.
Yeah,
Could
they're
you
asking-
please move?
Yeah, could you move?
No, we're not talking about moving out of the way. We're talking about you. Could you literally physically move your out of your house somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah, we're right.
So what were you talking about before? You almost got into a scrap with your neighbor? Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh,
no,
come
no,
on.
No.
That's not very fun.
That's no.
I'm sure he's not listening.
Oh no, I don't give a damn about him. I really don't. But I don't want to.
Well, let's talk about something positive then.
Okay.
For the first time in how many years would you say, Swan, of my career? The first time in what, 12 years?
Probably
11 years?
at least 10 years or more.
10 years or more, and the first time in at least a decade that the Beaveman is actually enjoying his profession.
Nice.
Really? Awesome.
Nice.
You're not dealing with your neighbor, so that's good.
No, I like
our neighbor.
I don't know what his name is. but-
Adam.
Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam. I know you listen to the Great Slaptail Squad.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he does. It might be a bit too racy for him.
I'm sure it probably is.
Yeah.
He already wears one of those hats.
Like old man golf hat.
Kind of wears the old man hat, and he's like, what, probably like 10 years younger than me?
Yeah, he's younger than me.
But he already got the hat. You know what I mean. You know, one that some people wear backwards, like they're directors. But what's it called, Tremonde? You're a hat guy.
Like an old man driving hat.
A driving
they're
hat?
kind of
Yeah.
slouchy. They're bigger on the back, and they're narrow in the front.
Like
some directors wear them backwards.
Are you
Like a
talking like the old Kanga hat?
Sure. I
Like
don't fucking
Samuel L. Jackson wears?
know. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, but it don't have a little kangaroo on it. But
No.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's like tweed.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like a pub hat, or an
Like-
English hat. Cap.
Guys old men wear them to golf.
Yeah.
and drive.
Why don't you try
Yeah.
talking in the mics, one?
Okay, I might.
That'd be great.
I'm gonna bring it a little closer. Closer.
Anyway, as I was saying, I'm glad that he probably listens, but I'm sure he doesn't because our show is a little bit racy for him. Anyway, so I'm happier now than I've been in 10 years.
Yay.
It has nothing to do with my neighbors.
Well, that's great.
What has made a difference? Do you
What
think?
has made a difference? The Beaveman is working from home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what I'm doing right now.
Gets to
Except
be-
it's not
yeah.
nearly. And the nice thing is, the patients that I talk to, because I get to talk to them for so long, I do work on a little bit of my stand-up with them. I get them laughing.
No. You do? Are you kidding?
Well, it's not stand-up, but I do crack jokes with them, and they do seem to.
Like, guess
they
who's
laugh,
gonna die
they
this
laugh
week
and,
if
they
they don't
laugh
get
and seem
help?
to enjoy it. So yeah.
That's it.
If I've got their attention for like 30 minutes,
You're like, hold on, let me try this bit real quick.
hold on, what do you think of this? And then I do these little finger motions. No, it's not. That's not what I do.
I'm glad you got your job. You got a good rapport with your neighbor. Like my neighbor Mike's yard, right?
Wait, we're not
No, wait a
talking
minute,
about
so
your
you
neighbors.
just-
You don't
so
want to
wait,
talk
no, no,
about your
you just
neighbors,
told
but now
us.
he wants to talk about your neighbors.
No,
I
I don't want to go.
that you don't want to talk about it. Now you start talking about it.
I don't want to go into details, but I'll tell you what. This guy's a paranoid freak. Every time I have a
Wait,
conversation with
I'm
him,
gonna friend him on Facebook and give him the link to this podcast just so he can come over and kick your ass, Ron.
No. This guy, he scares me. Right? I don't scare
I
easily
thought you.
because
Whoa!
Wait a minute.
Ron's was scared
I
of
thought
nothing.
you fear nothing,
I fear nothing.
especially
but-
typhoid.
No.
Was it typhoid?
But
Yeah,
you know, the thing
typhoid.
is,
Yeah.
we all have our breaking point. If someone were to mess with your family, you would go over the edge. You really would. So, and Tremonti's shaking his head. Yeah, you can fuck with me all you want. I've taken the abuse, but you fuck with my family? No more. It's off. All right? And, I've had conversations where he knew more about it than he should have. Then he pointed out that his cameras were mic'd. And
He
I'm like,
knows about that lesion on your penis.
he does. He does. He knows that.
How did he find that info out?
He knows that you wipe back to front, doesn't he?
Yeah, right. And he knew that. Hey, you like
he knows
Tremonti,
that you
don't you?
He knows
Hey.
he knows you braid your ass hair.
He does.
Yeah.
But no,
Get it
it's just one of
cornrolled.
those things. And, I'm glad that you've got a good rapport with your neighbor.
That's a
We'll
double
move on,
meaning there.
right? Just don't fuck with my family.
Real
Don't fuck with my
corn.
family. You can fuck with me. Don't fuck with my family. This is a big deal. And so you're working on your routine. Who's the comedian that's a doctor?
Chill.
Ken Young?
Yeah. He was on a Community. Yeah. Super
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. He was.
Most people don't know that he's a doctor.
Yeah, he's a legit doctor, and
Yeah.
I figured that's
he doesn't
what
need
you're
to go
gonna be.
back to it because he's got enough money. But yeah. But did you die? But did you die?
He was doing an interview. He says, "I'm still licensed. I can write you a prescription if you need one." And I thought, "Oh, that's
For
good.
ivermectin?
I have no
Idiots.
idea what that is.
You don't know. What
Good,
that
you
is?
don't want to know.
Why
Yeah.
don't I want to know? Now I want to know.
Now you
wanna
want to
know?
know? Now
You wanna know? Okay.
Ivermectin, one of those things you give your dog to protect them against heartworms.
Oh, okay.
Tremonti's shaking his head. He knows about
He does.
ivermectin.
He
What do you know
knows.
about ivermectin?
Oh, he's
Nothing.
waving.
Yeah.
At first, I thought like I saw a spirit in the house, and I was like, "Oh wait!"
Good.
But then,
Well, that is a little demon right there. We got demons.
What do you know about ivermectin, Swan? The Beaveman's about to do a rant.
You're gonna do a rant.
I'm about to.
I
What do
know
you know
that
about
a
ivermectin?
bunch of idiots are taking it because they think it's the cure for COVID.
Is it not only the cure, but they think it prevents COVID too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, why don't you enlighten our listeners about our mutual friend, who is now blocked on my phone, and
Well,
if things work out properly, I'm not supposed to get any more texts from him. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? Isn't that how it's supposed to work,
If you block
iPhone?
someone, I think that's how it's supposed to work. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless he's in a group chat with you.
Well, he's
He's not in the group chat. Yeah.
So, I'll give me his name and I'll talk to him.
No, please don't.
Okay.
We'll just call him Monkey for sake of keeping things, confidential.
No, yeah, I understand. That's why,
That's what we call him in real life.
So anyway, once
Monkey-
again, I understand with me with the neighbor problem. I don't want to bring the name in.
Oh,
But,
we can bring his name in. His name is Monkey.
okay.
And he is a big scaredy cat, but a know-it-all, but he doesn't know it all. And he's scared of getting the COVID vaccine because, one, he's scared of needles, but also he doesn't know about the side effects. And, everything he's read about it says that it's probably dangerous. And he's had COVID, and his girlfriend had COVID, and she got the shot, and she doesn't feel good. So, not because she had COVID, but because she got the shot. That's what he thinks. So he's gonna take ivermectin because he heard some good things about that instead. From, random article that he read that he sent me from, I don't even remember what, some non-reputable source.
Right, and then he sent like some video of some doctor on YouTube that was like from Israel, sort of, I don't know, some shit. But here's one of those things, right? If you don't understand medicine and you don't understand science, don't get your information from YouTube doctors. You should be getting it from scientific articles from the New England Journal of Medicine.
He got it from the American Journal of Therapeutics.
Oh, yeah,
Totally
very
reputable source. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it's really not. 'cause
No,
I've never
I'm
fucking
just
heard of it.
kidding. I was kidding. And he is all about asking questions and medical questions whenever he needs something. That's the only time you hear from this person we'll call Monkey. So,
Well, I can understand.
but then he doesn't heed the advice of what he's asking. So why ask? Oh, who's important? Ron's important.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, none of us can hear.
Just a little. My mic is on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear
well,
you through my mic.
My mic is on. I can't hear me in my headphones anymore either. I can't hear anybody
Okay, well,
in my
the more you
headphones.
talk away from the mic, the harder.
Okay, I'm
So
gonna
you just
talk
go ahead, Doc.
into
You're
the
getting picked up.
microphone.
We're
Okay.
picking you up. We just can't hear you as well.
Okay.
So that's all.
Okay. I'll just try to be louder.
In about 18 minutes, we called her something other than the Swan. Anyway, so you were saying,
Did you call me just a little?
yeah, that's what's going to go in there.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
know.
This text is really important.
You should.
I can't hear you in my headphones.
Okay,
your mic
please
on.
don't say that again because now
Now I gotta put
edit
just a little
even
again in
more.
there.
Now I got to do another.
No,
just
he
a
read
little.
it phonetically,
Thanks,
so
Roz.
it doesn't even make sense to him because he's like, that grammatically doesn't make sense.
Anyway, keep telling your
Anyway.
story, Swan.
So yeah, but anyway, so he's gonna not get the vaccine even though he asked all of his medical friends what they said, and every single one of them said, "Get your vaccine. We've all been vaccinated." But instead, he's gonna
Oh, I didn't
go
know that
to
part
the.
of that. He knows more medical people than just us.
Yes,
Oh.
he's asked all of his medical friends. I don't know how many that is.
Okay, talking to
but
the microphone.
I am
Let's
talking
try
into
that.
the
You don't
microphone.
need to turn your head. I'm right
do.
next to
I
you.
like to
You don't have
look
turn
at
your head.
people
You
when
don't
I
have turn your
talk
head
to
talking.
them.
It's a new thing. This
It's a new
podcasting
thing.
It's a new thing.
I
for
know
her,
it is.
Swan.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
never done it before.
No, I haven't. But anyway, so he was skeptical of getting the
Anywho,
vaccine,
hello,
but because
Amish Bob here. Go ahead.
if
You
you want
almost
to
sound like the
interrupt my
Swedish
talking,
chef.
I'm gonna start over
Hello.
again and tell my whole entire story again, and it's gonna start out with, "Did you know that I'm from Detroit?"
No. Here's what I did.
We're gonna start back a little bit.
Here's what I find interesting is that he texted me first and had to ask me. It wasn't just ask me if he should get the vaccine or not. He started throwing all his other bullshit, and I have a strict policy now that I won't argue with fucking morons. And so I didn't even answer him. So when he didn't hear from me for days, then he reached out to the Swan. And then the Swan had to ask me about it. I said, well, there's a reason why I didn't respond to his stupid questioning, because if you have a question about something that's not scientifically based, do you think it's reasonable if you're going to try and refute science with your very low intellect and understanding of medicine? Do you think it's wise to call and ask someone who actually has a medical degree their thoughts on it? Because I don't think that's wise. I think that automatically, if you automatically think they're going to back what you say, you're a fucking moron.
Well, you might change his mind on that. He might. You might be that tipping point.
No, but what I'm asking is, Ron.
He's just saying no.
No, what I'm saying, Ron, is you are. I mean, we do give you a hard time, but that's your character. I mean, that is your persona that you play. But you are not an idiot.
And if you ask for our opinion,
I'm not done speaking. But
yeah,
that's okay. You just go ahead
that's
and
how
hop right in.
conversation
You
works.
just go ahead and hop right in.
You
because
paused.
It's
That
not
means
like
go ahead and
it's
talk.
not like I was having a train of thought,
You know
and I
what?
was pausing for a second to let it sink into the listeners, and I was going to continue talking.
You know, Beaveman, I'm going to stop you right there. Oh my gosh, I agree with you on this. We'll sidetrack the medical crap right here, but I agree with you because I'll be speaking. I'll pause for a second, and my beloved wife will start speaking, or I'll ask a question. I'll pause for a second to continue the question to collect my thought, and she'll do that. Or I'll say something, and she'll finish my sentence for me, and I'm like, I'm capable.
Was that really what you were gonna say? Was it?
Yeah,
See?
stuff like that. I'm capable of completing my own thoughts.
Maybe.
And people do that to me all the time. I'll turn around, I'm like, when did we get married? And they look at me confused. I'm like, because my wife does that, and I just want to know if you're my new wife.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even say that, but because of where I was going with this, Rons,
Of course.
what we're going to do now is we're going to ask the Swan what I was about to say.
Well, because if Ron asks you a question and he's genuinely asking that question and you give him advice, he tends to probably value that advice and take it, just like the Tremonde. He doesn't ask you a question and then do the complete opposite or go ask the ladies at fucking JCPenney's what he should do.
Well, that's
If
really
he's
good, Swan,
asking
except
you-
that's not what I was
That
going to
wasn't what you were
say.
going to say? But that was a great end to your conversation, though, wasn't it?
No.
So next time I go to JCPenney's, I should ask.
You should ask him a medical question.
Or
Maybe-
better yet, the dollar store.
Yeah, I was going to say the Dollar General. You could ask
the
them,
Dollar
too.
General on aisle 5. Prostate exams.
So, okay,
Mammograms,
let's...
loading dock.
You
Mammograms,
can
loading
can
dock.
go ahead and finish your train of
Or
thought now.
better
What were you
yet,
going to
don't
say?
go to the
What
Dollar
I was
General
going
in
to
my
say
area
is
and go to a
that the
different one.
Rons would never ask me a non-science-based question unless he thought it was also ridiculous and what it was saying to me, how stupid is this?
No, I would, but then again, you would reprimand me, telling me that's not funny. You're not funny. You're trying to be funny.
See, I'm trying to give him a compliment, but it's like going way over his head.
No, I get it. No, you're right.
Well, why don't you explain to me what I was fucking saying then?
Okay.
Explain to me what I said then.
You're right. I wouldn't come to you with a question or if I did, I would value your scientific knowledge. I really would.
What I'm saying is, I don't think you would come to me with a ridiculous question. You would say, "Hey, Beaveman, listen to this bullshit I heard."
Right.
Is what you would say, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I agree with you. That's fucking ridiculous, and this is why." I don't think you would, because you're not one of those people who's just going to believe that, shoving kitty litter up your pee hole is going to save you from COVID. That's what I'm saying.
Let's market that.
Oh, by the way, folks, our listening audience is not stupid.
No,
But
you're
if you
smarter
know some
than that.
if you know some stupid people, members of the Great Slaptail Nation, tell them that shoving kitty litter up their pee hole will prevent COVID. Now, it will give you a raging urinary tract infection.
Okay, that brings me to a very good question then for you. What's the most stupidest thing that you've seen so far?
Well, I'm kind of getting on it right now. Well, I'm kind of talking about it right now. We're going back to the Ivermectin. Let's, Swan, now that we have paused a moment to berate the Swan for trying to finish my thought, continue your story, Swan.
No, I'm done. My story's done. But basically, he still has not gotten his, as far as I know of, his COVID vaccine, and just makes memes and posts memes about all the funny side effects where you see the people with 3 eyes and no head and all that from getting your COVID vaccine, and all of his stupid people on his Instagram or social media accounts also laugh and ha ha ha, it's funny. It's all funny until someone that fucking dies from it. And then he's scared. So clearly he's just scared. That's why he's posting all that stuff and just doesn't get it.
Yeah, but be scared and respect science, not bullshit. I mean, when people are like, there's kind of like in Florida, right? There's a mask mandate for schools, a lot of these school districts. And you can get a medical waiver for your child not to wear a mask. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There is a chiropractor who has signed tons of them without even examining kids because he doesn't think that they should have to wear masks.
Well, I hope he
now-
gets COVID and dies.
And now they're not accepting his shit,
Well, they shouldn't, because he's a freaking quack.
obviously. And, chiropractors have their place. That's fine. I'm not saying I don't believe in chiropractors, but I do have a problem with the fact that a chiropractor is a, quote, physician, and they get to do some stuff that I don't think they should be allowed to do. Think about
Like,
it. If
right.
you're,
Touch your butt.
Think about it. If you're not allowed to do
You consented them to touch your butt when you're going to see them. You did.
Okay.
But I don't think that they should be the ones that you're listening to scientific evidence for how to treat COVID, and it shouldn't be up to them, and they should not be allowed to tell people that here's a waiver to say that you don't need to wear a mask because I'm a physician. No, you're really not, because you really don't treat the same stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, and I think that they're more than capable and well within their boundaries of the law to say, yeah, we're not going to accept anything from this person. And CNN went to interview that guy, and he wouldn't talk to them. Big surprise. Big surprise. I mean, if you're full on believing in what you're saying and what you're doing, then why don't you
You
talk
should
to
probably
CNN?
own it, and
own it.
be willing to
Be
talk
all-
to
be
people.
all about it. Anyway, so ivermectin, may I say once again that the Beaveman, although educated, is a persona and likes to say fun things. And this is an idiot podcast, so you can listen to me, but still take it with a grain of salt, or you can not listen to me.
And still take it with a grain of
Let's
salt.
still take it with a grain of salt. And or shove kitty litter into your pee hole.
So, do you know anybody personally taking this ivermectin?
Personally, no.
Personally?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So ivermectin is a medication that we do use.
I thought it was like somebody's name, ivermectin.
Ivor.
Ooh, we
he's
should
from
name
Norway.
our kid that.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't
Ivermectin.
Ivor
Tremonde, can you name your next kid that?
If I have one.
Isn't Ivor the name of the guy in what was it, that show about the Vikings? Oh, Vikings. The show's
That's
Vikings. He was the crippled kid.
Don't
One
know.
with the bad
but
legs?
never
No, I
watched
watched the Irish version of that, Mick Ivor.
it. Oh, that was terrible. That was not even funny at all.
Ooh, that was so bad. Once again, I'm just trying to be funny.
Womp, womp, womp.
Just a little. Anyway, no. So ivermectin is used in medicine. It is an antiparasitic, so
Yes,
you can
it
use
is.
that for things like
Deworming your horse.
I just said it is used in human medicine. I said
You
it's
just
used
said
in medicine.
You said medicine.
It's
Okay,
treated
but
for
I'm
liver
Veterinary
blindness.
medicine is also medicine.
Okay, but I'm trying to draw a correlation with
Okay.
human medicine
Okay.
and say that, and I do believe I said we use it in medicine.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a vet.
But I was thinking you were saying we as a listening audience as a whole. There may be some vets listening.
Oh, it's
Okay, do you want me to
retarded.
tell you what you use it for in
You are
humans?
So-
fucking retarded.
I pulled it up. The side effects, of course, are many.
Thank God
but
that
it's,
the Rons pulled it up.
He
But
Googled
it
it.
says,
Did
if
you
you're
Google
being
it from a
treated
reputable
for
source?
River blindness.
Oh yeah,
And
that
I have
happens
no idea.
constantly.
Yeah, I have no idea. What
Okay,
that
why don't you
is.
pull up like a more common treatment? that we
Honestly,
would
I
use it
don't
for?
know anything.
Well, we could
about
use it for scabies, but we tend to use permethrin instead because it's topical. But you can use oral ivermectin, like when we have all of our, the children and folks coming up to the border that are, by the way, fleeing from war-torn countries and gang-related violence, and
like
that's
Detroit,
why they're coming.
Flint, Benton Harbor.
Oh God.
Not the Canadian border. And it's the other way. People are trying to get into Canada, not coming from Canada. I'm talking about the southern border where we're getting people from Venezuela, Honduras, Mexico, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't have time to treat them topically, in other words, rubbing on, if they've got like scabies or something like that, you could give them a dose of ivermectin. Okay. So, why is it that folks think that ivermectin, which is an antiparasitic, and in layman's terms, if you could think of it this way, it means that it destroys things like tiny worms or tiny insects or tiny organisms. Why do they think that it would work on a virus?
You hit it right there on the head. It's like, I honestly, and I don't know much about what's going on with this crap because I tend to ignore it and I'm too tired to give a damn. But it sounds like ivermectin is used to treat parasites versus a virus.
It's antiparasitic.
Okay,
Right.
Fantastic. And I think Monkey is his name. Doesn't know the difference between a parasite and a politician and a quack doctor and a virus.
And kitty litter.
And kitty litter.
Yeah, so why wouldn't it? Okay, so Ron's, you are, and this is why I say that Ron's is smarter than your average person. Even though
he drew that correlation quicker than Monkey did.
Right. And I did send him info, not from Google, but from one of my own medical apps that I've used for the past 19 years. And I said, this is an antiparasitic. Biologically, from a biological standpoint, why would it work? And why do you think that is? Because a virus, by its classification, is not alive. It has no nervous system. It has no musculoskeletal system. Ivermectin works by, say you got worms. Let's say you got worms. So you got some parasites.
Ass worms?
Say you got some parasites, and your doctor gives you ivermectin. Ivermectin basically, and I'm not going to get all scientific on it, but basically works by linking up with these chloride channels in the parasites and destroying or breaking the cell membranes in their nervous system to destroy them.
Yeah, that wasn't scientific at all.
Okay, well, whatever.
I mean, wow, I followed that. Not. But...
I thought that wasn't very scientific.
It wasn't. So
I got it.
what
No, I
he's
got it.
saying
What
is
was
a
his
virus
response?
doesn't
Well,
have
but
a nervous system.
A virus does
So
not have a
You
nervous
can't
system.
Use the medicine that way because it will not work.
Okay.
So what was his response?
More bullshit.
Sending
to the point
us
that I said.
his dumb articles that says it works, but it from non-reputable sources. From this guy in China or wherever who is prescribing it. He
I
just
don't
wants
think
you to
China
buy
would.
his. I don't know. No, it wasn't China. I don't remember where it was, but
So
Anyway.
with ivermectin, this goes along those same lines as like Quack MD and Peep cults. Like, you know, how fast is this spread? This stupidity.
Okay.
well, a
quite
lot
bit.
back because he flat up said they can't keep it on the shelves here.
I didn't
Well,
even know it was
and-
on the shelves.
Well, the other
It
thing
is
that I
in
said.
like maybe
well, they're
a
buying veterinary
pet
doses.
supply
Yeah,
store.
you can buy it
yeah,
over the counter
for your
for your
animals,
horse or
for your
whatever.
horse
yeah,
or
I
cow.
have a horse.
So they're not taking.
Human doses.
If you wanted, I mean, you
no,
can,
no, I understand what you're saying.
Well, yeah, but like if you could go in the other room in our house and you could get some, because
it's-
HeartGuard is ivermectin for heartworms for dogs.
So, are they, you know, and I read a little bit about it, not enough to be knowledgeable,
Very
but just
quickly.
enough, yeah, very quickly, is that the dosage of ivermectin has to go to the weight of the individual. How are they cutting it up like crack or
Well,
something?
you would have to assume that they're actually have some understanding of what they're doing, which they don't. They're
But
just
they
taking
don't.
it.
That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
Like, they don't know how
That's
much they
right.
need because they don't
Just
even
take it.
know that what they're taking is not for.
But
you
they
know,
won't. But they
it's-
won't take a
it's-
vaccine.
you know,
But they won't take
I-
they won't take a scientifically dosed, measured, tested.
And even
I
if
just
you
like how Tremonde just over here got really upset because his shoulders hunched up and he's
It's
got
just like
pissed.
it's ignorance. Like
No. There's a difference between ignorance and stupidity.
no.
There he goes.
It's like
this is ignorance. I'm going to
this is
agree with
just- it's
Tremonde
just-
on this
it's-
one.
This is just like you're just fucking not thinking.
That's stupidity.
No, it could be both. It could be both.
Okay,
But
yeah.
so like say you base it on the weight on the dog medicine or horse medicine that you buy, and you're like, this says from 50 to 75 pounds, so I'm going to take 2 because I'm 150 pounds. Yeah, but that's based still on a dog's metabolism, not a human
Exactly, right,
metabolism.
Exactly. Weight-based
Right.
has. There's no direct correlation between how you would dose a human and how you would dose a dog, or how you would dose. There's no correlation. Just like when people are saying, when they say, "Oh, I had this medication before. I had a medication before for that I needed an antibiotic, and it was this many milligrams, but the one that you're giving me is only this many milligrams. Is that going to work?" I'm like, "There's no direct correlation between different medications. Milligram is a weight. There's no correlation between that."
You would know that. I wouldn't.
Right.
Well, that's like just take say
But that's the point,
ibuprofen.
right?
An
That is the point.
ibuprofen one over the counter is 200 milligrams, but in Tylenol, it can be 325 or 500, and they're different.
The numbers are different.
Yeah,
Well, the
right.
numbers are
Exactly.
different
That's what we're
because
saying.
It's a weight.
Right.
It's a unit of measurement.
I'm not
That's
doing
so.
math.
It's not
It's-
that. It's not that that's telling you this medicine is better than this one because the number's higher. It's telling you what the weight of that medication is.
Okay.
It's like taking a liquid form of Tylenol for an adult and saying, "Oh, I'm going to give this to my child. I'm just going to, they only can have 5 milliliters, so I'm just going to give them that." And it's not the same because
yeah.
it's
A lot of
It's even,
parents do
and it's
that,
even
though.
more different then because that is how many milligrams per milliliter. So it gets even more confused. So if I said,
So stay in school,
if I
kids,
said,
learn
So
math.
if I said,
Yes.
I'm going to give myself 325 milligrams of Tylenol, I'm going to give my kid 325 milliliters of liquid Tylenol, and that should be the same because they're both 325.
No,
well,
you're
you
gonna
just
kill your
killed
kid.
your kid.
So, follow the directions. When you're looking at half a bottle, that looks like
Yeah.
a lot of medicine. That's not correct.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
And kids stay in school and listen to the experts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, is that using the new Common Core math?
It doesn't matter what math you get. You're going to get the same answer either way.
Anyway,
And
from a
math
biological
is so
standpoint,
complicated in school nowadays.
It is.
from a biological standpoint, ivermectin should not work on a virus. Now, here's where it gets confusing for folks because they're like, okay, yeah, but I understand. So why are there countries that are using it? Well, there's widespread use in some countries of ivermectin because that's all the fucking they have. That's all they have. So they're like, fuck it, we'll try this.
All right, fair enough. And I
not
understand
done.
that.
No, I'm
So
not done.
no,
But
no.
he's not
I
done
just
yet.
want to
That's
interject real quick.
I mean, I do have an agenda that I'm trying to get
Yeah,
through,
I
but
hear that.
please
So
keep interjecting.
we'll get back to that. Has ivermectin worked whatsoever?
How
I
can
really
you
think
prove
if
that
I
it
could
did
just-
or
I
didn't
really
work?
feel like I could, if I could
Because
just
there's
get
no
to it.
studies showing that it
Okay.
did.
I really feel like if I could. if
Yeah,
I could
we
give
know.
it-
We'll
Carry
get back
on.
to
I feel like
you,
if I
Beaveman.
could give
He
you
might
guys
get
some of the
there.
content-
Carry
Yeah,
on.
No, we'll get back
I
to
really
you
feel
on
like if
that.
I could give you the content, then you guys could talk about the content I gave you.
No, we understand that.
Tremonde,
What?
I want to let you know that you smell good. I can
thank
smell
you.
you all the way from over here, and you smell good.
Thank you.
Do you put? Do you after you shower? Just out of curiosity, this is a question for you and for Ron's. Since you guys like to get sidetracked, do you put any type of like cologne under your balls or in your ass crack?
No.
No.
I do powder.
Okay. What kind of powder
Like
do you
Gold
do?
Bond?
If I have it, or I use talc powder or whatever.
Have I ever explained to you the powder dilemma? This is part of my stand-up.
No, you haven't.
interesting
But it
that
looks
it's,
like a small atom nuclear bomb going down there when I powder up, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, so over to the beat.
I'm
man.
sure
Can
your
you tell
wife
us
likes
about
that a
his
lot.
powder thing.
To powder or not to powder? It
Yeah.
is the question that plagues me, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because after you shower, you want to smell good, you want to look good. But if you powder, you have automatically eliminated the possibility of a blowjob in the near future.
See,
Yes!
Tremonde,
Yes!
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It keeps you dry. It
I've
keeps
never
you
seen
clean.
you so excited. This is great.
That's
Don't-
So if
no
you
powdering. No.
powder, although you will stay dry and fresh, you will immediately have to shower off if you feel like there's a possibility of oral sex. Now that's not a bad thing because now you've showered off.
And then it's clean
But
again.
this is the dilemma of powder or not powder.
But okay, I agree with that. However, I powder before I go to work. There's no chance of that
Well,
happening.
you know, you
But
might.
also
You do
eliminated that
packages.
chance.
Yeah, what happens if some package is coming down and you're like, gotta open the chute?
And then the person's like, my mouth is dry.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't given it much thought, but
She's
okay.
not gonna powder tonight.
So I
And
Yeah.
there's the second part of that. My powder of preference back when I did powder was mostly because in the field we would powder but my powder of preference was Gold Bond. So
That don't taste good.
That would be really. I mean, that's got what, like eucalyptus oil and menthol and shit in it. If they put that in their mouth,
wow.
they put that in
was
their mouth, and there's
Tremonde,
gonna
not
be some
me.
serious problems.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard your neighbors around here, and they're gonna hear this.
Hello.
They're gonna hear this high pitched laugh and scream.
Well, I gotta get to some of the content. So that's my dilemma, and that is
Tremonti's gonna pee his pants.
that's a very brief part of
Tremonti,
my.
can I see the chat pack?
That's a very
that's
that's a
his
very
No, I know,
birthday
so I just wanna
present.
look at it
That's
for a
his
second.
birthday present. You can't ask for it back.
No,
what are you
I just want to
doing?
look at it for a quick
boy.
second, right?
So that's a very brief
Tremonti's
snippet
crying.
of part of my
Tremonti's crying.
stand-up.
But back when I powdered, I used to like the baby scent. 'Cause
Like, so
it
you liked it
smelled-
fresh and clean,
Yeah.
baby powder,
Yeah.
lavender,
But-
calming.
Yeah, but then I feel like you would only be attractive to pedophiles. So you got to ask yourself.
well,
So you got to ask
Well.
yourself. They're like, if they're blowing you with the baby powder on, then they're imagining.
Oh, no.
Then they're
So-
imagining a fat baby's arm in their mouth.
So this was pre-COVID.
pre-COVID.
This is pre-sex days.
What are pre-sex days?
You know, when he was like 12.
Okay, so this is why some people are confused about it, right? Okay. So there was a study that showed that ivermectin had effects on a protein called importin, which is one of those proteins that parasites like to use in nefarious ways. So this study showed that certain
nefarious.
levels... Listen to this. Shut the fuck up. This study showed that certain levels of ivermectin, when tested in vitro, in other words, in a petri dish, and we can hear that,
Stop
Ron,
clicking.
so stop fucking around. Fucking pay attention. Like a
I
small
am.
child. What did I just say?
In vitro,
Okay, which means
which is
what?
in a petri dish.
Okay, good.
Hold on, wait a minute. I don't know what that means. What does it mean?
All right. This study, anyway, showed that when tested in vitro, stopped viral replication.
Sorry,
In other words,
this is what I pulled up.
okay, we don't have time for that,
I'm
dude. Let me
listening,
get
I'm
through the
listening.
fucking content, dude. Seriously. Oh my god.
Here you go.
I am not even halfway through this content that I want to, and there's a podcast host I want to fucking rip on, but we're not going to get to
We'll
it.
get there.
I
Shut
know
up.
the podcast hosts are a rip on, too.
Everybody be quiet now. The Beaveman is talking.
So
Silence.
anyway, it showed that ivermectin could halt viral replication in the petri dish. However, the level of ivermectin that required is not something that humans could take or ingest in any way. It was actually 100 times higher than we would be able to obtain. So in other words, it's not achievable in humans. So in other words, they put so much ivermectin by concentration in this petri dish that it wouldn't replicate. I could do the same thing with a gallon of Windex.
now drink
don't-
some Windex, folks.
No,
drink
I
some
don't suggest anybody
Windex.
drinks a gallon of Windex. So in other words, if ivermectin actually works, it's working by some method other than what it was designed for. In other words, it's working by some other mechanism of action than what the actual mechanism of action is, how it's defined. So in other words, it's working some other weird way, which is not impossible. But so far, there are no clinical studies that show that it actually works. So why are they using it in other countries? Why are they using it so much? Because they don't have anything else, and they don't even have enough vaccines to vaccinate their whole population. They're like, fuck it, we're going to throw this at it, just like they did with hydroxychloroquine that they showed it didn't fucking work. Let's throw this at it and pray that it works.
Right.
And there's studies out there that are comparing ivermectin to hydroxychloroquine, two things that don't work, and showing that, oh, well, the ivermectin worked better than hydroxychloroquine, so maybe it works. No, that's not how that shit works.
Right.
You
Just
have to
work.
compare it to
Yeah.
nothing.
They're
Yeah.
complaining.
Or
They're
you have to-
comparing apples to oranges and saying you get bananas.
So
I think people that feel that because there is some type of research done on something that qualifies it as having some type of value or weight. Just
Except
because
they pick and choose the research. There's a shitload on
right.
vaccines.
right.
But they don't read that because
But they're
that
like,
makes too
nah,
much sense.
I'm
Like
not
we
gonna-
won't.
Which is this is why I just say like it's just ignorance, because how many of those people question their mechanic?
Right.
None of them.
None of them.
You do whatever your mechanic says, something that you know nothing about, and you trust them, but then yet you don't trust science.
No. God,
You
why
know?
do that?
It's
It's
just like
it's mind-boggling, isn't
it
it?
is. It is.
yeah. So okay. So who is this?
I'm not done.
Oh,
So anyway, so don't use ivermectin. Just don't. If you're gonna use it, and you have to understand too that what I'm saying right now is based on the clinical evidence that we have. There's also still clinical trials utilizing ivermectin, and the reason why is this: if people are going down the shitter, and we do this in ACLS, not that I do it anymore, but if somebody's going down the tubes anyway, you throw every fucking thing at them you can because you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, you use your algorithm.
That's why they're using this shit. Because they're like, we have nothing to lose. Maybe we'll get lucky and something will work. That's what they do. That's what medicine is.
You're like,
It's
you're
your
dead
last-ditch
anyway.
effort.
Here's your last resort. Might as well.
Yeah, it's your last-ditch
Okay.
effort. Let's try this.
Yeah, I can see where that would come
So
into
there's
play.
still clinical studies ongoing. And maybe, who knows, maybe in a month, all these clinical studies will come back and say, you know what, it does fucking work. We don't know how it works, but it works. And there's plenty of medications that are in circulation right now that one of the first things it says on it when you actually read the pharmacopoeia or the pharmacological handout that you get that says mechanism of action unknown. In other words, it works and we don't know why. We speculate on why, but we don't know. And that's possible. But as of right now, there's no evidence that it works. So you're taking something that could harm you in some way. So the CDC, so the World Health Organization is saying ivermectin should only be used in clinical trials. That's what the World Health Organization. The CDC, and this is from the CDC Health Advisory on 8/26 of 2021. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed that with the American Association of Poison Control Centers that human exposures and adverse effects associated with ivermectin reported to poison control centers have increased in 2021 compared to the pre-pandemic baseline. Clinical effects of ivermectin overdose include gastrointestinal symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, shitting out your intestines. I made that last part up.
Well, if you got diarrhea.
Overdoses are associated with hypotension, which means very low blood pressure, and neurologic effects such as decreased consciousness, confusion, hallucinations, seizures, coma, and, wait for it,
Death.
Ivermectin may potentiate the effects of other drugs that cause central nervous system depression, such as benzodiazepines and barbiturates. That's a fancy way of saying that if you're already on other medications, ivermectin can make it worse because it affects the nervous system. So even though it doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier, it can cause other issues if you take too much of it. Here's a fun one. An adult drank an injectable ivermectin formulation intended for use in cattle in an attempt to prevent COVID-19 infection. So they didn't even have it. They drank it in an attempt to prevent it. This patient presented to the hospital with confusion, drowsiness, visual hallucinations, tachypnea, which means rapid breathing, and tremors, shaking. The patient recovered after being hospitalized for 9 days.
Meanwhile, while in the hospital, got COVID. No, I made that part up too. But
It wouldn't be surprising. I mean,
No,
how many
it
people
wouldn't.
get admitted to a hospital and get COVID? We know of one person that did that.
And you can get, you can get topical ivermectin, in other words, stuff that you put on your skin. So people are ingesting that too.
But you wouldn't
Which
put it
says-
Super smart.
You wouldn't put that on your penis along with a kitty litter.
you could if you had worms or scabies on your penis.
Yeah, you notice how I try to go there, but it's like there's that scientific research, and it's just like, well, I guess you could. So
Yeah.
there's actually yeah.
A real medical reason to use it there? Yeah. So, can
Would you
tell
rub it
us?
in fiercely or just kind of smooth it on?
You just rub it on, wait,
Fiercely.
wash it off.
Fiercely.
I like to try and
You might
two-fist
as
it.
well. You might as well.
I mean, I don't have the real estate to two-fist it, so it's more like two-finger it, two from each hand. But I can dream and imagine. What was your question, Swan?
You know what's
Are you
even
gonna
worse is
tell
the
us
swan is
what-
just acknowledging that
Are you
two-finger
going to tell us
two-finger
what
thing.
podcast host
Oh,
we're
so
talking
very
about?
popular podcast. You know, a lot of people out there. I know you like to listen to the great Slaptail Squad. I also like to listen to our podcast, and we're not as big as most podcasts, and that's okay because we do this for us.
Yeah,
And
but
I like-
Keanu listened last week.
I like me for me,
Didn't he?
not because I'm, I don't know, hot like Cindy Crawford, or make you laugh just like Drew Carey. I don't know, Jim Carrey.
Like the
I don't
cable
know.
guy. Like,
I'm like the cable guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
like
would
me
be
for
Jim
me.
Carrey.
I like me for me. Anyway, but we do have a listening audience, which is what I remind the Slaptail Squad about all the time. You should. It's no small thing. Like
No,
my
it's
penis and Ron's mental capacity.
Oh, thank you, Beaveman.
But there are some big podcasts out there, and there's a big podcast, and I know they're a persona. And if they might hear my podcast and be like, they're very famous for like talking shit and want to fight people too, by the way,
Cool.
because he's like a BJJ person. And
I would like to
let me
take
say
him
this
on.
about let me
He
say this
likes
about
BJs?
let me say this about BJJ. Yeah, it's a nice little martial art, but I gotta say this: at one point or another, somebody's balls are going in your mouth, and unless you like that sort of thing, I'm not sure BJJ's for me.
Hopefully, there's no powder on them.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Especially not if it's gold bond. That mouth is gonna tingle for
Wait,
a while.
why are you going over to me?
Mouth is gonna tingle for a while. Yeah, so no,
Yeah,
it's
that
Joe Rogan.
eucalyptus
Joe
oil-
Rogan. That was
that
Joe
eucalyptus
Rogan's
oil
podcast. You just keep
burn.
talking, Ron.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
talk over him.
Just keep talking over me.
All right.
It was Joe Rogan. Who listens to Joe Rogan's podcast?
Not me.
Not I.
I just have this visual of like a woman coming out after being done with Ron's, and like her face is all powdered,
You know,
just like around here.
you know, I would
Like
go
she
for
ate
that.
some powdered donuts.
So you know, powdered sugar would probably do better.
I think it cakes though. I don't know if that's.
It gives you a yeast
Yeah,
infection.
exactly. Sugar. I mean, it's moist down there, and then you're gonna feed it sugar. It's moist. It's wet. It's warm. Let's feed it some more sugar.
He's
That's probably
gonna
not a good
bake
idea.
some bread.
he's
Ron's
gonna get
baking
off.
bread under his
I'm gonna
nuts.
get that call.
Bro.
I'm gonna get that text, and Ron's gonna be like, "My crotch is red and itchy." I'm like, "Dude, you put powdered sugar down there."
Yeah. Well, I was going to use
Raging-
Gold
I got
Bond, but you
ants.
Raging
know,
yeast
I got
infection.
ants.
yeah, I got
Yeast
ants.
infection.
I was going to use Gold Bond.
Anyway,
but the eucalyptus
Swan,
oil
what did
burns.
Joe Rogan say? What happened with Sir Joe Rogan there?
He said that he took ivermectin when he got COVID, and he was better in 3 days because his doctor gave it to him. A doctor gave it to him.
Oh, yeah, but he also took a shitload of other things.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Here's
pulled
what I
up
don't
right
understand
now.
is there's doctors out there that will give celebrities whatever the fuck they want. Celebrities, political people, they'll give them anything they want. But there is no, if you read the CDC site, as I do, there is no treatment for COVID currently in the outpatient setting. And if you are in the inpatient setting, in other words, if you get admitted to the hospital, there is levels of how bad you are based on what treatment you will get. In other words, if you're admitted just for observation and you're maintaining your oxygen, they might treat you with this. If you have to get high flow oxygen, they will treat you with this. If you have to go on a vent, they treat you with this. But there's nothing in the outpatient setting.
So here's what he said. He said he got COVID and he's feeling it fine and beat it thanks to a cocktail of unproven treatments.
Probably
He
just
felt
cock.
very weary on Saturday. He got tested for the coronavirus the following day. Throughout the night, I got fever, sweats, and I just knew what was going on. After the diagnosis, he immediately threw the kitchen sink at it, in quotes, and he got medication or methods include taking ivermectin, and also he got, let's see, what else did he get? Oh, poopy.
Okay. then.
You got poopies?
Monoclonal antibodies.
Monoclonal antibodies, a Z-Pack antibiotic, and a
Why?
vitamin drip for 3 days in a row. Here we are on Wednesday, and I feel great, he said. So, number one. Yeah.
So
Did you
first of
just
all, how did he get monoclonal antibodies? That's what I want to know. Because monoclonal antibodies, my understanding, is only supposed to be given for people who are immune compromised or who are at great risk of declining very quickly and requiring hospitalization. So in other words, if you came to me and you had COVID and your symptoms are not that bad, you're just tired, it's just like a minor flu, I'm not
Right.
going to order
Right.
monoclonal antibodies for you because there's people out there that need it. Like this person doesn't have a spleen. This person doesn't have a spleen. So they should get monoclonal antibodies over to you because they're more likely to go to the hospital.
Right.
So unless Joe Rogan has some compelling reason for him to get monoclonal antibodies, why the fuck did he get them?
Yeah,
My
but-
question is, did he even get them, or did they tell him, hey, this is what we're giving you? Because he also got a vitamin drip, and that's not a common thing. Where do you get a vitamin drip? Chiropractor's office.
Yeah. Or when you're an
Or
alcoholic
somewhere
going through
in,
withdrawal
somewhere
in the
in,
ER.
one of those infusion centers that pop up all over the place that will give you stuff that you can pay for. by
Colored
yourself.
oxygen
So,
that you can pay
so
for.
you don't
very-
get that
it's-
at the Dollar General then?
No, you might. I mean,
You
eventually.
might, yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the point of the Z-Pack?
Yeah.
So let's give him an antibiotic to fight a viral infection.
Yeah. That may actually reduce your immune system.
This is what pisses me off. All this
And
poor.
so he felt better in like 5 days, but maybe that was just his course of COVID that he felt better because he had a mild case of it.
Preach on, Swan.
I'm going to. I'm preaching.
Now, what was I gonna say?
I don't know. I interrupted you.
What was I gonna say? Do you think?
What did you start out saying? And let me guess.
I was saying is what pisses me off is all this this lack of standardization among medical professionals. There's so many people out there that are giving people whatever, while the rest of us are following guidelines and trying to do the right thing and teach people how to care for themselves and what proper medical care is. And then we've got JoJo the buttfuck ass and fucking Hamish Bob giving people whatever the fuck they want when it's not standard of care.
Money.
Yeah.
No, I would agree.
Money and who you are. If I would have went in there and said, "Hey, I want the same thing that Joe Rogan got,"
Right.
Oh, we don't know who you are.
Right.
You're not famous.
Yeah.
Would
Right.
you also say to that that it's paranoia? Because a lot of these people, sort of like some of these doctors who don't believe the studies, and honestly, they're out there. We know that will just give in to the latest and greatest.
Yeah, but not to everybody.
Not
like
to
if
everybody,
you went
but
there, you're not getting it.
You will have to find them out, right? You will have to search them out, and because
So you're
going
to go to the Dollar General and you're going to get your ivermectin.
Well,
then.
I'll tell you the same thing that I told Monkey when he was trying to tell me all this stuff and how, the doctors are giving it in where I'm at and all this other stuff. I said, well, let me tell you this, genius, and I don't care who I offend. I'm like, you are in Nevada. That is not the hub of medical superiority in the country and definitely not in the world. So I'm not surprised that they're in the wild, wild west where they do whatever the fuck they want, that they're doing that, because they're known for doing quack shit.
So, what do you think about with the holistic healing of COVID?
Like what?
Sort of like
Like you're going to pray it away?
pray it away.
No, that's holistic.
Oh,
Yeah, holistic. But basically,
Holistic is a generic term. Holistic just means all inclusive. That's all.
yeah,
that
and I
means.
think this is where that would fall under, is that someone's looking for an alternative way to cure this, and it's quackery, as you said.
The only way to cure it is immunology.
Well, that's a big word.
Right.
In other words, our body has to destroy it. Our immune system has to destroy it.
Now, let me ask you this.
Assisted by vaccines if everybody was vaccinated.
Would Darth Vader get it?
Yes.
No, because he has an excellent ventilation system. I'm sure he's got lots of filters built in there. He's not going to get it. How would he get it, Swan?
I thought you meant
You know
get
what?
the vaccine.
Spoken like a true dumb
Darth
motherfucker
Vader would get
who
his
doesn't know
vaccine
shit about Star Wars.
Darth Vader would get the vaccine because he's up to date on his medical care. He's got the most high tech
No, but
respirator.
you just fucking said he would get it.
He would get the vaccine. That's what I meant.
I'm gonna change your story, Swan.
No,
don't act like
that's
you
what I thought
fucking,
Tremonti
don't act
was
like you
talking
fucking
about.
know shit about Star Wars.
I do.
You don't fucking know shit about Star Wars.
Well, I do think that it is very sad. Like, speak to what you were speaking about as far as what having access to money, what that gives you, and it's like reaching a point to where like it's beyond unhealthy, you know, like hearing that Kanye and them and the fires in California, like they had their own fire truck, like
Yeah.
you know, it's
Or
like
helicopters to get away should things get really bad.
Yeah, you know, and I feel like the more money that people have, whatever it is that they did to gain access to what the money that they have, they feel like that just like they now have like access and knowledge about everything.
Do you think that makes them more disconnected from reality, the more money you have sometimes?
Oh, hell yeah, it
Some of
does.
these people?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
I would like to be disconnected from reality.
Yeah, me too. I want to go buy like.
I know a
a
lot of people
million
who
pairs
don't
of
have money
every-
and they're still disconnected from reality.
Yeah, but that's the opposite end of the spectrum. That's what we were talking about the other day, like when we were talking about how white trash people, they go buy their lottery tickets or their whatever. They're poor and they.
Why are you insulting? Well, it's not our demographic, probably. Wait,
Well, my wife buys a lottery ticket just, to support the school system, but,
That's
case
a
in
di-
point. Thank you
that's
for
a-
making Swan's point.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, really?
No,
Really?
what were we talking about the other day when
Star
I was like,
Wars.
They're buying their cigarettes, they're buying their whatever, and you're like, yeah, because and they're more addicted to drugs, like street drugs, because of poverty, trying to look for ways to get out of it.
So, not trying to look for ways to get out. See,
Or
I think you
coping with
misunderstood
it.
what I
Coping
said.
with it.
Yeah, that's what I
Their
was
coping
saying. I'm like,
mechanism.
they're escaping their reality. That's why. If there was a distribution of wealth, if everybody was equal, wealth distribution wise, then there would be no reason for money in the first place.
Right.
And then you could lift people out of the bullshit. And then you wouldn't have
And then you
the drug
would
addiction.
bring
You wouldn't have all
then
those
you
other
would bring
stupid
Kanye back to reality.
But you're don't lump Carrie, my beautiful wife, into that.
You did.
No, you did.
No, I
I just
didn't.
said she buys a lottery ticket.
Yeah, for the school's
I just
lottery.
want to know
That's
if
a
you're going to
different
start
story.
calling her Powdered Donut. Is that her new nickname?
Powder donut.
But if
Put a
you-
little in front. Not a little.
Well,
Like
Lil.
a
Put
school
LIL in front.
fundraiser.
it's a slim chance. Would you take that chance to win $100 million?
Lil
No.
Powdered Donut.
No. Like, you're telling me she goes out every week and buys, like, $10 worth of Powerball tickets. No,
No,
she,
I'm not
she
saying
entered,
that.
like,
I'm
the
just saying buy
school
one
raffle.
lottery
Yeah.
ticket.
That's a different story.
And
You lumped her into that category.
no, you did.
No, no,
I said,
no,
she
no,
just
no.
buys one
Yeah,
ticket.
I mean, you stop offending Lil Powdered Donut.
Yeah.
You realize she's going to
Little
have my
Powdered
ass
donut.
kicked.
She's
Lil
going to
Powdered
kick
Donut.
your ass.
Yeah, she can. She can. All right.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, when Ron gets home, check his back for the note that we pinned to it.
That says kick his ass.
Telling him when the next podcast is, because clearly he's too fucking retarded to read a text message.
Write it.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Whoa, where'd
Write
this
it in
come
powder.
from?
Well, I'm going to say this because there's probably some listeners out there who are like, you know what? Maybe we should forward this to Joe Rogan so he has to hear what the Beaveman has to say.
Go ahead.
And you know what? I've listened to Joe Rogan stand up. Before he decided to smoke pot all the time, he became more mellow. But he's one of those BJJ people, and he still does the MMA like announcer stuff or whatever. So if Joe Rogan listens to this, or this gets forwarded to Joe Rogan, and you decide that you want to take the Beaveman on, let me just say this before you issue your challenge. I would gladly take you on, with the caveat being this. I have to be trained ahead of time with the same type of trainers that train you, and I get to have somebody who's going to be my dietitian and all those other fancy things that you get. And then, and only then, would we be on a level playing field. And then, I think it's only fair that I get to be able to choose the method of combat.
Would you powder your balls then?
No, because there's still that possibility Joe Rogan will suck my cock.
So would you
Hey.
think? Go ahead.
Be also ready.
Be so. Would you think that because of this, the celebrities jumping on this crap, do you think it's become more wildly available to everybody on that?
You're saying that what's more widely available?
Well, this the inner stuff.
Yeah, because it's a way that they can make money off of. If celebrities get their face behind it, it makes it popular. Oh, advertisement. Let me just get more of it and just keep dishing it out.
Marketing, bitches. It's there.
Well, here's what I like to think though. Back to Joe Rogan. I like to think that he was probably full of shit, and he's like, hey, you know what? This is my podcast. Whatever's going to get me more plays, what's going to get me listened to, and he's a persona. I mean, that's the thing. But you also have to remember that as a persona, you have to be careful sometimes of the things that you say. Unless you flat out say, like the Slaptail Squad says, we're a bunch of fucking idiots. If you actually listen to what we say,
And you put kitty litter up your pee hole.
and you put kitty litter up your pee hole, there's
Or
probably something
powder
wrong with it.
sugar around your penis.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful about doing. I definitely wouldn't let it sit there. I mean, don't
maybe
powder that
right
before.
before.
Don't powder that before a 12-hour shift, because
No.
you're gonna get a yeast infection.
You
Get
can have
donuts
fun
down
with
there.
it.
I mean, you can have fun. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Now it's going to make me question every time I powder. Right? And I'm like, should I use talc, Gold Bond? And of course, going back to what the Swan said about the Gold Bond, should I just use baby powder? Right.
You should probably just use no powder if you're going to expect someone to be down there.
No, I don't. I sweat a lot when I work, so that's
okay.
You
quite
can use
interesting.
wings.
What's that?
You can use wings.
What's that?
Like a panty liner.
Oh,
it's got wings. But
So-
you gotta get the
Do
ones
you
with
use
the
that
really-
for
but
like
you-
the ball sweat?
But you have to get really big wings on it because you wear like boxer briefs, so it's got to like go down your leg.
Oh yeah.
so do you wear wings?
No.
Then why would you recommend it? Because, if you're going to wear something like
Because you
Joe-
always complain, because of the fact that you complain about work so much, we all assume you
I
have
never
a...
complain about work. I
Hold
just
on.
I
Hold
know,
on.
you're good.
Okay.
I know. Can I answer
Because-
this one? Because we assume you have a vagina.
Okay, thank you, Swan.
Did I answer correctly
Yeah,
this
you
time?
did. Yeah, thanks for taking away what I was going to say.
You stole his punchline.
I
You can't
did,
do
but
that.
I was right this time.
Because you complain so much, I assume
I
that you
don't
have
complain.
silicus vaginismus.
What is that?
That is sand in the pussy.
It's not fun. It's not a good time. It happens at the beach. That sand goes everywhere.
What are you doing with your light over
I'm making it glow.
All right, well, now it's time to wrap it up. And before we go, because the Ronz is like a small child, and because he gave Tremonti a gift, I will allow him to read one card.
Now that it's dark and you can't read
Oh.
I'm going to
Tremonti.
read one card.
So I'll read the one that the Rons have picked up, and I think it said that if you could be a part of a large parade, what would you want to be doing in the parade?
This is quite the gift. Are you? How do you
I
feel
mean,
about that
clearly Ron's has an answer prepared that he wants to
No,
be.
He's all happy about
that's
it.
Well, then why is that the question that you had to search to pick out?
No, I just kind of came up at random. Now I
No,
got the
it didn't.
gift.
You shuffled through there like
Now,
looking
I would
for a
say
certain one.
these are. It's a chat pack for kids,
Because you work with kids, of course.
so there's an adult version as well. It doesn't.
I mean,
have
you
to
could
be
make that an adult version.
You very well could.
Yeah, you just put it in bed at the end of the question.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Jesus. The Jesus has nothing to do with this. I will
Very well
answer.
put.
I will answer.
Go for it.
I would like to be the one who is as you're looking at him, on the left side, but on my right side, who is assisting with walking the giant Pikachu balloon down in the Macy's Day Parade.
Yo,
That's cool.
I know somebody who did that for like several Macy's Day parades. She's done like I don't know, at least
She did
10 of
Pikachu?
them. She did Pikachu. Yep.
Sweet.
I have she's on my Facebook. I can show you pictures. She had Pikachu as one. She's done I don't know,
Has
10.
she done Pikachu?
Yeah, she did Pikachu for sure. Yep.
Is she on your Facebook?
She is.
Can you show me pictures?
I can. Yep.
That'll be awesome.
Now, what balloon has she done?
Pikachu. You
I would
asshole.
say that I would want to be a drum major in the Macy's parade.
Can you play the drums?
I cannot.
Drums
Well,
drum
oh,
majors
they don't have to
play
play.
the
They
fucking
just,
drums.
conduct. I
Those are the
fucking
guys with the
retard.
big baton.
Fucking
baton,
retard.
right?
Do they? Can you play the drums? Our drum major was a flute player.
I don't know. I didn't do band like
Yeah,
that.
you did.
I did not do marching band. Did not. Did not.
Now, let's define
Stop it, Stan!
Stop it.
So,
Stan!
the drum major is the person that leads everybody in the parade.
No, they lead the band.
That's what I fucking meant.
No, that's not what you said. So now we need to rip on you
No,
too.
don't try to rip on him. You're the fucking retard first. Do you play the drums, Jumanji?
I was just asking.
Because you're the drum major. The drum majors, as we all know, play the drums.
You're a dick.
I'm
You
sorry,
know,
Ron.
Swan,
I hope
probably
you
would've
die
said
in
the
your
same
sleep
thing.
tonight.
I
sorry,
probably
what?
would have said the
Yeah,
same
you
thing.
heard me.
I don't know if.
What do
if-
you think about that, Amish Bob? Hello.
Hello,
Well, I don't
yeah.
think she knows what a drum major really does.
I don't.
If
Why do
anything,
you
I'd
sound
like to be. What,
Shut up, Amish Bob.
If anything, I'd like to be in the in one of those cars that that they only bring out every so often. Like one of those hot rods. And
Why do they only bring it so often? What do you mean?
Because they're the classic vintage cars, and they'll only put them in parades
Uh-huh.
and everything. And you wave from the back. It's
He
like-
wants to be a princess. He's gonna
Well,
do the.
No,
So you
I
want
just
like
don't
a-
want
like
to
a-
stand out in the cold. I want something with a heater on it so I can stay warm.
So you want to be like in like a local parade where like you just like drive through the town, or
Or,
Something on a bigger scale.
Macy's does it too when they have people drive through it.
Yeah,
It's
but
like-
don't you have to be the grand? What do they call it? The grand marshal of
Yeah.
the parade to be in the car.
Or you could be on one of those floats where you're dancing or singing or anything
You
like
can't
that.
pick more than one thing, Rons. And
Yeah.
Well, it's-
I would pay to see you dancing and singing on a parade float, though.
in
All
the,
right,
in the
yeah.
leotard.
See if he does the whole Ferris Bueller thing.
Well, yeah, that'd be cool too. I'd like to do that too.
That would be hilarious.
Hilarious.
If anybody wants to invite the Rons to a parade, and have him sing and dance, go ahead and contact us on our Facebook
Yeah,
page.
I would.
or
do
on
that.
Instagram. Or
I
at
would
our
do that.
website. And our website is what, Rons?
Slaptailnation.com.
Slaptailnation.com. You know what you'll find there?
Big
Just
fat
a
nothing.
bunch of nothing. It's a bunch of nothing because our administrator
grammatical
of the
errors.
website is the Rons, but that's okay.
He doesn't
He
have
brings-
time.
supposed to-
He's working.
He brings so much more. so
Well,
much
you know
more
what?
for
Someone was supposed to do the Beaveman and the Daughter podcast, and that doesn't get released. Someone, and you're right. I should do more content.
But he's so tired.
He's too busy
He's
working.
He's so tired. He's too busy.
Too busy
he's
powdering his nuts. Hi-yo.
Yeah,
Stop it, Beaveman.
Yeah.
Talk right over me.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. No,
I don't want to be in your fucking parade. There.
Yeah, and she can't be a drum major because she doesn't know how to play the drums.
I don't want to be in your fucking parade either.
No, that
If you'd
sounds
like
really
this one to
cool.
be in your parade, you cannot ask her to be the drum major because she does not know how to play the drums.
But
Correct.
could
I
she
don't.
wear the outfit of a drum major?
mean,
I
it
don't
depends
want to
on the
wear
outfit.
that stupid outfit.
I don't even want to be one anymore.
I don't.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Fuck
you guys.
yourselves. Fuck yourselves.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
You
Wow.
know,
Harsh.
Yeah, harsh.
Harsh.
Beaveman,
You know-
random question. If you were to have a drag name, what do you think it would be?
If I had a drag name,
Yes.
and would you
boy.
be in the parade?
I don't. I am not really good at this. I don't know because I mean, does it have to be like a super flashy name? I'm trying to think of like what's an actual drag name.
Well, I was listening to music one night and I spiraled off into some weird stuff, and I saw
Porn?
this porn. No, actually, and I couldn't believe the name of this drag queen. And
What
I
was
thought
it?
it was too good to be true, and I looked it up, and it's like Alaska Thunderfuck. And I'm like, that would make a great name, but it's already taken. So that's
No. How about
What would yours be, Tremonde?
I don't know.
how about Jenny Honey Hips?
Ooh. Yeah, sure.
That got a ring to
I
it.
like that. Yeah,
Jenny Honey Hips.
Jenny Honey Hips.
Is that because you want a booty?
Yeah, I do want a booty, but
Yeah.
Well, and you could have, like powdered
Don't get all
donut.
sick.
They're not
Don't
that
get all
fun
sick
to
on
have.
Or glitter.
don't get all,
You could have edible glitter on you.
don't get all sick on me.
Now he
Rons.
wants. Look at him. Look at his fantasies are coming true.
Yeah.
The Rons.
We've already made it successfully through an entire podcast without you making some creepy comment to Tremonde. So
We have.
Well, there's still that short time. And I
Like
don't make
your
creepy
penis.
comments. You kind of flip them on me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Tremonde, how many times with Rons have you felt uncomfortable?
Like
It's okay.
cringy.
This is
How-
a safe. It's a safe space.
Cringy.
You notice he's in a corner right there, so he can just.
He's gonna back you
There
into
go.
the corner
There it is,
right
Ron.
there.
There's your
You
fucking.
just backed him into
I
the
see how
corner.
it goes. We can always switch positions. You could be over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, yeah, there we go. There we go. You just made it really uncomfortable, Swan.
Yeah,
no,
Swan.
yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Way to make it uncomfortable. Swan.
By the way, Swan, I gotta hand it to you. You took it like a champ, like you do usually, and you got picked on a lot. And I kept quiet just because I didn't want that deflected right back to
you
me.
didn't want to get
He's like,
picked
for
on.
one time they're not picking on me.
Because whatever you said, the B-man just came after you, and I'm like, oh, this is what it looks like and sounds like on the other end. So I just kept quiet.
Nice. Thanks, Ron.
No, anything for you. Anything.
Here's my last question. Here's a conversation question for you. This is my one conversation question. Ron's and Tremonde, and
Yes.
it doesn't apply to the Swan. Well, you can answer a different way. Ron's, have you ever attempted to wake your wife in the middle of the night by tapping on her head with your penis? Have you ever done that?
Several times.
And or could you do that?
I can do it from a distance.
Excellent. And what happened when you did it?
Well, I woke up from that fantasy, and
Oh, so you didn't actually do it.
no, yeah, I did.
So you didn't actually mushroom stamp little powdered donut.
No, I did not. No.
So all of it was a lie.
It
Even
was
the
all a
racist
lie.
part.
It was all a lie.
I
He's
would
like,
go with
he's
a
like,
lie. I would go more
Ron's
with
is
a
like,
fantasy.
acting and scene.
Yes, I would go with it was
To
fantasy.
be or not to be?
It's-
Tremonde, same
obviously it's
question.
not to be.
Same question. These are my conversation questions. Tremonde, same question.
Waking up someone in that way, I haven't. But I have done that before. Just,
You have thumped him a good one? You're like, thump, thump, thump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being silly.
He's being silly. It's just a random thing, like walking around and be like, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
But no powder, right?
No powder.
No powder.
No.
Now, when that happened, did you inadvertently leave a snail trail on them?
No.
These are my conversation questions.
Yeah.
Final question for you, Swan. Have you ever had that done to you?
Not that I know of.
Well,
That you-
speaking of who made it creepy this time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will say, in firsthand experience, that was not attractive. All right, then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, anything else from the rest of you?
Well, happy
Did you
birthday.
answer- did you
Let's
answer
let's see if Joe Rogan is going to reach out
Did,
to us.
did you answer the question?
What was the question?
Have you done that?
Have I done that? I think I have, yeah. I'm trying to think if it was with a
wake up
swan,
to
though.
it?
I can't remember if it was a swan or not.
And because you mentioned it on a podcast very long ago, happy birthday to the United States Air Force.
What the fuck?
Right? It was, that was just recent. So,
Nobody cares.
well, okay,
Nobody
fair
cares.
enough.
Nobody cares.
I care, but that's me.
Nobody cares. And from the Beaveman, get vaccinated, people, and
Definitely.
don't take stuff until we've got some scientific evidence. Okay, I understand why you might be
Try the kitty
confused
litter.
because there is evidence out there. I mean, there are meta-analysis
Mm-hmm.
done that show that there is some efficacy to ivermectin, but you have to understand that what a meta-analysis is a compilation of multiple studies, and then they take the statistical data from multiple studies and compare them, and then they do a report on it. So a meta-analysis is not new research; it's researching research. And if the studies that are used in a meta-analysis are not great studies, then a meta-analysis is also flawed. So try to listen to people who know what the fuck they're talking about, and listen to the CDC and the FDA and the World Health Organization, and not Amish Bob.
On that note, though,
That was my final thought.
that's your final
That was
thought.
my final thought.
That's good. That's your final thought. Is that when this hit,
The
previous president
most
didn't want
unscientific
everybody to know because he didn't want to cause a panic, and that was bullshit. Because if everybody would have known, I think we wouldn't be behind the eight ball as we say so much. We'd still.
I don't
be
think he didn't
suffering.
want everybody to know. He was so ignorant and stupid that he thought that it was nothing. He said it's nothing more than the flu.
That's what he wanted the public to believe.
No.
No, he probably
no,
truly
he's-
thought that.
He is
That's
not an
what
intelligent man.
he believed.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll
I mean,
leave it
we'll
to
let you have your opinion, but my opinion
Yeah.
is that he is a man of very little intelligence and doesn't believe in science until he got sick, and then he wanted everything under the sun. And then told the entire country that they could get all the same treatments that he had and promised it.
Okay.
But I respect your opinion, Ron's.
No, it was more of a statement than an opinion. I think I read it somewhere in Quack
book?
Journal somewhere.
In a book.
In
You
a
read
book.
it?
In a
Yeah,
book.
yeah, I read it in a book. So back to the Beaveman's final words.
I kind of already had him.
I'm going to say bye from the swan.
It was kind of my thing.
Bye from the swan.
I got to say this much, and on my final word, it's been fun getting back together and doing the podcast again, right? And this has been so much fun watching Tremonti in real life just about fall out of his damn chair laughing.
Would you catch him? Like
Would you
down
catch
the
him if he
chute?
fall? Will you be the wind beneath his wings?
I would.
Will you be the hand beneath his balls?
He doesn't powder.
Make it creepier.
He doesn't
Wow,
powder.
he didn't even say no. He just
He
just
didn't.
he
He didn't.
laughed. He laughed and said, "Wait,
Going
wait,
back
wait,
to
wait."
what you guys said earlier, he'd probably be on top
He just
of my
wants
head.
to hold you by your third leg.
Yeah.
No, look at that, a tripod.
Tremonti has a kickstand.
Look at that. Look at that.
Would that be your drag queen drag name?
Kickstand.
Kickstand?
Yeah, kickstand.
No, that's not
You know what?
attractive.
I'm gonna have to Humboldt Tremonti and say you don't have a kickstand, Tremonti.
Oh,
Oh, poor Tremonti.
Oh,
I agree. I don't have a kickstand.
He doesn't.
no, he's Mr. Tripod.
Anyways.
Anyways,
So from the Rons, thank you once again. Hey,
are you sure you're gonna say goodbye like 5 more times, or
I could.
I'm not.
The hand's going up. There it is. There, the hand goes up.
Deuces.
and don't forget your heart guard Adios, mooch
weight-based.
fuckos. Shut the fuck up, Swan. Jesus. Adios, mooch fuckos.